This video is sponsored by Unlimited Case, a premium iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch case reseller. Be sure to check them out at www.unlimitedcase.com. Hey guys, it's Logically Technology here. Today I'm here to tell you about an exciting thing for my YouTube channel. I'm actually starting a podcast that I will publish here on YouTube, and it is called Podcasting Party, which, as the name implies, it is a podcast full of people who are partying. Yes. If you can come up with a better name than that, I would appreciate it a lot, and I would definitely give you a shout out if I end up using it. But just to give you a basic idea of what Podcasting Party is, it's different than other technology podcasts. It focuses more on tech analysis rather than tech news. And as you can see by the title, today's tech analysis is mobile operating systems, more specifically Windows Phone 7. So you might have also heard the little ad in the beginning of the video. That will only be played during podcasts, not during my regular video, so subscribers, don't worry. And all the money that we get from that advertisement will either go directly to my YouTube channel. It won't go to like my personal, whatever, tennis rackets and stuff, or to OLPC, One Laptop Per Child, which is an organization dedicated to bringing technology resources to children in need to help them learn and grow as students. You can find out more about OLPC by going to one.laptop.org. So today I have Keaton from TechSmart here to help me with my first podcast party, and Keaton, he is fairly trained and knowledgeable about all that is Windows Phone 7. So let's get started. Alright, so right now we're going to start with the actual podcast. First what we're going to talk about is the growth that Windows Phone 7 has been not experiencing actually. And as you can probably see from the graph, it's growing, but not at the rate that Android and iOS are growing, and it hasn't really captured anything compared to what iOS and Android have achieved. Now, taking this into account, it might be because that there were some missing features in Windows Phone 7, which, I guess they tried to update it. They announced, like Nodo, Mango, all those new features to try to bring it up to spec with the cut, copy, and paste and multitasking. But, yeah, I still don't have a very clear understanding of how Microsoft is really going to implement multitasking into Windows Phone 7. Is it going to be more like WebOS and Android, where it's just complete unlimited multitasking, or if it's going to be more like iOS with a conservative battery saving like implementation? So Keaton, what do you think
about the growth?
Yeah, about the how you think Microsoft will implement multitasking.
Well, I mean, as you said in your first topic, the growth of Microsoft Windows Phone 7 hasn't really been at where it should be, and I really think this is because consumers are addicted to Apple and Android, and I mean, they don't really want to switch because they're so into the phone they're using. Now, if Microsoft, if they went to some bigger events, not like they don't, and let people try out the phone, I think users would see the customization it has and see how it fits them, and ultimately they would go with the phone. I went with the phone. I love the phone. I couldn't switch because I do have an iPhone, but it's definitely one of those phones you gotta see to believe, and you'll fall in love with it.
Alright, so basically you want Microsoft to put the phone in the consumer's hands and let them actually try it out.
Yeah,
Kinda like
I think that will increase the sales dramatically.
Alright, so what do you think about the how Microsoft will implement multitasking?
Well, I think they'll implement multitasking very soon, if it isn't already in there. But some phones that consumers have don't allow you to do multitasking, and if you're someone who's busy and you're doing a lot of work and you're on a call, you also need to check the browser for, let's just say, movie times. You can do that, and that will just be simpler rather than having to hang up the phone, check the movie times, and then call the person back. So with doing this, it could persuade the consumers to get this because of the multitasking feature and make their lives a lot easier.
Alright, that sounds right. Speaking of the browser, in the current implementation of Windows Phone 7, I believe that it is running a hybrid between Internet 7 and Internet 8. The problem with that is that it doesn't support HTML5, which, as you all know, is a growing standard with like H.264 WebM as the video codecs. So, just the fact that we're still having to wait for Microsoft to add IE9 onto Windows Phone 7 is slightly troubling to me, that Windows Phone 7 is not their priority. What do you think, Keaton?
I totally agree with what you said there. I mean, I think Microsoft's going to have to take that leap into adding newer and better software to get the consumers over to their side.
Yeah, I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think that they should start innovating on mobile and then bring those innovations to the desktop, kind of like what Apple did with iOS, and then they brought the innovations to the desktop with Lion. Well, I think Microsoft has to start focusing on putting their innovations, or all of their, not all, but most of their innovations into their mobile operating system. Because desktop-wise, their market share is fine. Even if they don't innovate at all, people are going to still buy PCs because they're cheap. But in the mobile world, everything is cheap. So the only way they can differentiate themselves is by innovating and just pushing everything they can out. So they really have to rejigger their resources.
Yeah, I mean, they did update it to Internet Explorer 9. I think that would give consumers the good feeling that HTML5 can be used, and they'd go with it. I mean, it'll be faster and everything.
Alright, well, now let's move into some of the better aspects of Windows Phone 7, mainly these live tiles. Now, as you can see from the screenshot of the Windows Phone 7 device, you can actually peer into the applications and see things without actually having to open them, which is, it's just such a good idea. I remember that I was reading an article, I think it was from Engadget, where they said Windows Phone 7 tiles are more like windows where you peer into applications, and iOS apps and Android applications are more like doors where the only way to get into the application is by opening it, by tapping on it. And I just think that that's so true, and it's just like, if anything is good about Windows Phone 7, it is definitely these live tiles. I think it's so revolutionary that, I'm surprised that Apple and Microsoft, Apple and Google have still not found a way to kind of counteract these live tiles. Because, everyone's seen those Microsoft ads with the glance and go, or, it's the phone that saves you from your phone. Well, that's completely true. With Windows Phone 7 devices, you can just take out your phone, look at your home screen, and you have all the information you need to know, which would take just swiping through pages of apps on iOS. So the live tiles, I think, are really revolutionary.
Yeah, I mean, I got to test the LG Quantum out, and I thought the live tiles were probably the best idea a phone has ever come out with. It gives you more time to do what you were doing before you checked your phone, and you can get back to your social life, or, as I just stated, doing what you were doing before. Having these live tiles will give you easy notifications, so you know that so-and-so responded to your message, and you can check it later when you have some more free time. But this idea is very innovative, and I really like it. I think other phone companies should do this, maybe Android, maybe even Apple. I mean, it would really get the consumer to think that the phone company is trying to get you to do what you were doing before and not spend so much time on your phone.
Alright, so let's move along to Windows 7 hubs. Keaton, what are your thoughts on those?
Well, the Windows 7 hubs are pretty nice. The Windows 7 hubs, as in Xbox Live Gaming?
Yes, like the gaming hubs, the music hubs, the photo and video hubs.
Alright, I was just a little unclear there.
Yeah,
With the Xbox Live Gaming hubs, I also was fortunate enough to test this out, and I saw that Microsoft makes Xbox, and they also run Xbox Live. Now, what Windows Phone 7 is capable of is running some of the Xbox Live arcade games on there. Not the, Modern Warfare 2, or at least not to my knowledge you can run that. But just some of the other fun games like Plants vs. Zombies, I saw you could do that. But this does require a separate subscription, and I really don't know what the separate subscription runs currently at this time. But if I do find out, we will definitely put it in the description below. But having some of these nice hubs, it gives you it gives you more of the customization feel, and it
Yeah,
can get you, it can.
it's like Microsoft organizes everything for you,
Yeah,
which is so it stays true to its the phone that saves you from your phone tagline. Like,
yeah.
you want to get music, just jump into the music and videos out, photos
The
out.
one thing Microsoft did really well is they incorporated Xbox Live Gaming. Since they own Xbox, it will probably sell a lot of gaming consumers over, and get them to use the phone and experience all the other cool features about it.
All right, now let's jump on to Nokia plus Microsoft. So this is a pretty interesting partnership. Nokia is making devices for Microsoft, making Windows Phone 7 devices for Microsoft. In the past, they've used their own operating systems such as Symbian, Migo, Mimo. Really, how much this will affect Windows is, or not, Windows Phone 7 is still tentative. We know that Nokia will be devoting a lot of resources towards the operating system, but in terms of market share, I don't really know. Because it's not like Nokia is it's not a respected mobile company, or not as respected as it used to be. So, the more resources going to Windows Phone 7, great. More Windows Phone 7 devices going out, great. If people are gonna buy them, that's still the question.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Office now.
Exactly.
Um, with Office on your Windows Phone 7 device, you are enabled to run Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now, what this does is for people that are business people and they need to share presentations on the go, maybe they don't want to bring their laptop and have everything with them, but maybe they just want to carry their phone and maybe a simple briefcase. With the Windows Phone 7, you can show a PowerPoint on your phone. I don't know if there's external cables you can hook up to it to make it show on a bigger screen, but you can show the presentation and it looks smooth. Having Microsoft Word on there is nice because when you want to jot something down, open Word and jot it down. But you do have to pay for this. Excel, pretty self-explanatory. Most people have used Excel before, but you will have to buy this. It doesn't come free with the phone, but it definitely is really good.
All right. So now let's move on to the application growth, or the amount of applications. So as you can see from the graph on screen, Microsoft has just surged in terms of how many applications are in the Windows Phone 7 market. I believe at the Mango release event, they announced that they had something like 18,000 applications. 18,000 applications for a app store, for a platform that was launched less than 1 year ago. I feel that that's very, very impressive, especially taking into look how little Windows market share is. And they always have like these little things that push developers to make applications, like giveaways, all that crazy stuff. And speaking of that, at User Community from Twitter, which is Microsoft's official Twitter account, I guess, they told us to say this: Windows Phone 7 ad offer. Publish 5 apps after 4/1/11 and automatically get free mobile advertising to 1 app. The link and the code will be in the description below. And now there's another Windows Phone 7 sweepstakes where it says every app published after January 1st, 2011 submitted for a chance to win a Windows Phone 7 device. And once again, the link and code will be down there in the description. So if you are a mobile developer, Microsoft is just creating a ton of incentives for you to create applications. And it's obviously working, which hopefully will translate into some new user growth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So thank you, Keaton, for coming onto the show. I'll be sure.
Well, thank you, Hank. Thank you.
I'll be sure to leave an annotation and a link to your channel. This is Keaton from TechSmart. So if you liked this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up and give it a favorite. If you have any ideas on how I can improve the podcast, just leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you would like to be in the podcast, feel free to email me at hankwoo@technologadget.com and we'll see if we can work something out. Also, you can click any of my videos above to watch them, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.